We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
What is going on, everybody? Happy 4th of July to everyone out there. Thanks for checking out this video, and welcome to my review for Independence Day. Now, this is my go-to movie every 4th of July. It has been every year since its release back in 1996. I remember seeing this movie in the theater, and this is one of those movies that just, you had to be seen in theaters because of the special effects and the sounds, especially, with the famous, explosions, including the White House and all that. This is like the quintessential Independence Day movie. And plus, on top of that, it has a stellar all-star cast, which includes Will Smith, Bill Pullman, Jeff Goldblum, Margaret Cullen, Robert Loggia, Randy Quaid, Judd Hirsch. I mean, just a lot of them. And I think one of the best ensemble casts in film, in my opinion. It's a very entertaining movie. Yes, it has its flaws, which I will get to in a minute. But let's just dive into the positives here. I mean, obviously, Will Smith is like awesome in this movie. He has top billing, and between him and Jeff Goldblum, I think they're the heroes of this movie. Jeff Goldblum, he is smart, computer whiz who figures out how to interfere with the alien spacecraft's signals, which ultimately uses that signal against them, and figures out how to bring down the shields, and that way they can counterattack and take them down. So that's where everything kind of turns about halfway through the film. And then you got Bill Pullman. Bill Pullman is really great as the president, I think. Early on in the movie, you can, if you listen, you can hear people on the news, on TV, talk about how he's kind of the president, but he doesn't do anything as far as like getting actively involved. And so later on, he kind of proves that he can do that, and it's revealed. He used to be in the war before he was president. He was a fighter pilot as well. So he has a lot to contribute there toward the end there as he becomes involved in the counterattack. And then you got Will Smith, of course, as this fighter pilot, who's, like I said, he's the main reason to watch this, because that this is the height. This was like the height of his stardom after his starring role in Bad Boys, and so now he's got this movie, and then a year later he has Men in Black. So for 3 years he's pretty much kind of risen to star power. And then you got Vivica Fox, who plays his fiance. I think she's really good in this movie as well. I think she's the perfect counterpart for him as being a couple. And then you got Randy Quaid here. Randy Quaid, I think he's the other hero in this movie. If you've seen it, spoiler alert, he does sacrifice himself for the world in order to take out the entire ship. And I think that he gives out one of the greatest lines in cinema history.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
So, I think Randy Quaid is really good in this movie, and that's one thing I love about his character in this movie, is that he's a fighter pilot. He used to be a fighter pilot who claims he was kidnapped by aliens so many years ago, but he's also an estranged father who actually wants to reconnect with his kids, who are now grown up, who are now grown adults. And now that with this alien invasion that's afoot, he sees this as an opportunity to reconnect with them and show him, what kind of father he can be. And so, and he proves that. He proves how much he loves them by sacrificing his life. I think that was really good. But yeah, this is a very entertaining movie. Just like I said, this is the one that I watch every year ever since it came out, and it's been 27 years. I think, 27 years. Hard to believe it's been that long since this movie came out. And then in 2016, we had a sequel. Do I think the sequel was warranted? No. Uh, and it was really disappointing. And it was really disappointing to know that Will Smith wasn't going to come back. But we were going to have Jeff Goldblum and Bill Pullman return, as well as Vivica A. Fox. So I thought, well, maybe it'll be really good. But honestly, I mean, to be honest with you, I watched the first half of it, and then I fell asleep. I don't know if it was because I was tired at the time, but I never did, or I just really didn't get into it. I never did go back to rewatch it. To be honest with you, I don't. I guess I don't know. I just had no desire to watch it. I may go back and rewatch it and give you guys a review on that probably next year. But yeah, I just think it suffered from sequelitis because it was it it waited like 20 years before it came out, and so there's those sequels that wait so long that they just don't work. But yeah, and then getting the negatives for Independence Day, and I only have two. One, I mean, yeah, the plot is thin. You know, there's not. It's a pretty simple plot. It's not complicated. You know, it's an alien invasion film. It's a sci-fi, sci-fi action thriller. That's it. It's just an alien invasion film, and people having to band together to survive and fight back. There's not a whole lot of character development aside from the fact that we know, Bill Pullman's character. He's a president, but he used to be a fighter pilot. You got Jeff Goldblum, who's a computer whiz. He used to be married to the president's secretary, and he has Judd Hirsch, who plays his father. There's not much character development there. And you got Will Smith. He's a fighter pilot. But we know he wants to marry this woman, who Vivica A. Fox's character, who's actually a stripper. And despite that, he knows that getting married to her would disrupt his career as a fighter pilot. So in the Marines. So yeah. But aside from that, there's not a whole lot of character development to go throughout. But we have, and then of course you have Randy Quaid. I think Randy Quaid's character is probably the most developed out of all of them, to be honest with you, because he kind of goes from this kind of boozy former pilot who we find out is a father, and now he tries to reconnect with his kids during the situation. So I think that that's probably the best character development we get in this movie. But aside from that, I mean, it's entertaining as hell. Like I said, the special effects are great. The sound, I believe it won an Oscar. I think it was for the special effects, the visual effects or something like that, I believe. But yeah, this that's what you come to this movie for, is the aliens, the alien invasion, the explosions from Will Smith's star power, and also some of the great performances from him, Jeff Goldblum, and Randy Quaid as well. I think Bill Pullman is great too. But yeah, this is definitely, Independence Day is definitely the movie that I watch every year. There's two other movies that I watch on 4th of July. There's Live Free, Die Hard, which is actually set over the 4th of July weekend. I'm going to do a review on that one as well, so keep an eye out for that. And then there's a horror film. That's if you're a horror fan, you probably know about this. Some probably don't, but you probably do. It's called Uncle Sam, which is about a Gulf War veteran who rises from the dead and wreaks havoc upon residents of his hometown who display unpatriotic characteristics. I'm gonna do a video for that and have that up for you guys tonight. But yeah, I'm giving Independence Day. I have to give it 4 out of 5 stars. Well, that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you'll receive notifications for anything else that I post for you guys. I love you guys. You guys are the best. And stay tuned for those 2 reviews later on today for Live Free, Die Hard and Uncle Sam. And once again, happy 4th of July to everyone, and I will see you on the next one.